welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are breaking down exactly how to manage a puppy's teething phase and, crucially, how to establish a safe, lifelong brushing routine. You know, bringing a new puppy home is incredibly exciting, but there's a huge learning curve, especially when it comes to what's going on inside those rapidly developing little mouths. Let's be real for a second. If you are dealing with painful puppy bites right now, or you've just sacrificed your absolute favorite pair of shoes to those tiny jaws, you are definitely not alone. The source material makes it clear. Understanding the biological changes happening in their mouth is the absolute key to surviving this phase. So we're putting a major focus today on how to safely manage that biting and how to use this brief window of time to introduce a gentle toothbrushing routine. Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We'll hit the puppy teething timeline, recognizing pain, managing the biting phase, safely brushing, and finally spotting early dental problems. Let's dive right in. Section 1, the puppy teething timeline. It is an incredibly fast-paced biological journey. To really understand what our pups are going through, get this. Dogs rapidly grow 42 adult teeth. That's a full 10 more teeth than we humans have. And the most wild part? They grow this massive set of adult teeth in just a matter of months. That is a massive biological undertaking for such a small animal. Just look at the speed of this timeline. Around 2 weeks, the very first baby teeth pop up. By 4 to 6 weeks, they've got all 28 of those tiny, needle-sharp baby teeth. Then, by 12 to 16 weeks, they're already shedding them to make way for the permanent ones. By 6 to 8 months of age, the whole shebang is done, a complete set of 42 adult teeth. They are literally condensing years of human dental development into just a fraction of a single year. When you actually compare a really young puppy's jaw to the same jaw just a few months later, the amount of change is staggering. The jaw is rapidly filling up with these massive adult teeth. This massive internal shift clearly explains why a puppy is constantly seeking physical relief by chewing on, well, absolutely everything in sight. Moving to Section 2, recognizing teething and pain and why they bite. Here is the thing you gotta remember. Puppies don't chew your hands or shoes out of spite. They are desperately trying to self-soothe some pretty significant physical discomfort. So if you notice signs like suddenly smelly breath, slightly bleeding gums, or a weird increase in drooling, that is a clear biological indicator that teething is in full swing. You know, anyone who's ever cared for a human baby knows teething hurts. Puppies are exactly the same. As their large adult teeth literally push out the roots of their 28 baby teeth, their gums become really sore and inflamed. It's this exact discomfort that causes them to resort to that relentless biting. They're just looking for a way to massage those aching gums. Which brings us to Section 3, managing the biting phase and providing safe relief for those sore gums. So how do we actually manage all this biting safely? Redirection is your best friend. Give them safe, cold items that naturally reduce gum inflammation. A frozen plain mini bagel or a frozen twisted dish towel, as long as it doesn't have loose threads, works absolute wonders. But listen, you have to avoid dangerous items. Never give them hard ice cubes. They're a choking hazard and can actually snap delicate puppy teeth. And absolutely no toxic fruits like grapes or raisins. Also, I know it's tempting, but resist the urge to pull a loose baby tooth yourself. The long roots can break off and cause a really nasty infection. This is exactly why just scolding a biting puppy doesn't work. You are basically punishing a biological need. Instead, you have to provide safe, cool, and flexible textures to satisfy that craving for relief. By keeping these safe chew toys on hand, you effectively distract them from the pain and, bonus, protect your belongings at the exact same time. All right, Section 4, safely brushing puppy teeth and building a lifelong habit. Because their mouths are so sensitive and they're naturally exploring right now, this is actually the perfect low-stress window to introduce a brushing routine. It's going to prevent so many serious diseases down the road. Just follow these steps to make it a positive experience. First, start simply by gently touching their mouth to socialize them to the feeling. Then, introduce a soft silicone finger brush or even a toddler's toothbrush dipped in something they love, like beef stock. Focus only on the outside of the teeth. Seriously, don't fight to scrub the inside. Their tongue naturally cleans that part. Finally, once they're totally comfortable, you can graduate to actual toothpaste. But, and I literally cannot stress this enough, when you do make the jump to toothpaste, never ever use your own. Ingredients common in human bathrooms, like xylitol, are highly toxic, even deadly to dogs. Always, always purchase a specifically formulated canine toothpaste. And then, it's all about consistency. A daily brushing routine, or at least every second day, is what's required to actively prevent tartar buildup. This is especially vital if your pup is eating wet food, which causes tartar to build up way faster than dry food. Building this habit right now ultimately helps you avoid putting your dog under expensive and potentially dangerous anesthetics for deep cleanings later in life. Section 5. Spotting dental problems early and knowing exactly when to call the vet. So even if your diet is perfect and your brushing routine is flawless, structural issues can still pop up during this incredibly rapid growth phase. While mild discomfort or a tiny bit of blood on a chew toy is totally normal, you need to watch out for the red flags. A high fever over 102.5 Fahrenheit, extreme lethargy, or noticing that your puppy has suddenly become head shy, meaning they flinch or pull away when you try to pet the head, could mean a misaligned tooth is actually poking the roof of their mouth. If you see any of this, don't wait. It is time to visit the vet immediately. Sometimes a sharp baby canine just doesn't fall out when the larger adult tooth comes in right next to it. It's called a retained puppy tooth. They end up sitting side by side, which creates this tight little physical trap for food and tartar, and it can literally push the permanent adult teeth completely out of their proper alignment. Normally, the baby root is absorbed, the tooth gets wiggly, and it just falls out. But a retained baby tooth won't just fix itself. This is exactly why scheduling an oral exam for your puppy at 6 months of age is so absolutely crucial. It usually requires surgical extraction by a vet while the puppy is under anesthesia to remove the pain and let those adult teeth align properly. Knowing how rapid this timeline is really gives you the power to act with empathy and precision. So I'll leave you with this final thought. How are you going to use the information in this explainer to take a painful, destructive teething phase and turn it into a lifetime of healthy brushing habits and safe chewing for your dog? Thanks for joining me today, and happy brushing.